Okay, so first up in our business spotlight, we have Ken. Ken is a seasoned veteran who's held leadership roles in international banking, sports, tech, health. I was thinking about it, Ken. There's hardly an industry you haven't touched. Um, but Ken called me last week and he proposed something different for his segment. While he'd love to speak about his new health prediction app, Future Wellness, and you're welcome to ask him about it, he asked to speak about something that is very close to his heart, but also that I believe is very relevant to absolutely everyone else on the call today. Ken's going to be talking about mental well-being for senior leaders, founders, and business owners. So with that, I will hand over to Ken.
Thanks, Cav. Um, yes, if you want to talk about Future Wellness Group, we can certainly talk later. But what's a passion of mine is, have you wondered why and I've got some notes written down, so I didn't want to do the presentation. But have you ever wondered why the money people are so interested in your team? Because what they're interested in is if you happen to die, who's going to protect their money for them? So it brings to mind that both your physical and mental health are essential to the success of your business. Most likely preaching to the converted. However, that's what I wanted to talk about. As a startup founder, we sometimes focus so intensely on our business, we neglect our personal well-being, which ultimately makes us counterproductive. We have to balance our personal and our business life. There's a new term emerging that's called health selfishness, and that means taking time for oneself. It says no. It says you have to say no every now and again to something, whether it be a social or a business, because you can't attack every opportunity. Limit work, focus on the family, focus on time going to the gym, focus on some healthy eating. And overall, it's not selfish to take care of one's health. Rather, it's fundamental. It's a fundamental aspect to the success of your business. To preserve our individual well-being, there are many factors that you need to take into account. And I just want to look at work, life, and balance. When I say you can do whatever you like, but what I've tried to do is establish clear boundaries to break business and personal. And it goes a long way to preventing burnout. Now, burnout, I don't see is a complete meltdown and off to hospital. Burnout can happen to us all the time, and the signs of burnout are the inability to make a decision or spending 2 hours trying to change the font on a presentation and it just won't work. So, that's when you need to step back and look at what you're actually doing. We all want to achieve success, but how do you judge success? You judge success by results, not necessarily how busy you've been and how much activity you've set. So there are some strategies. You all know most of this. You need to get enough sleep. You need to have enough water during the day. You need to have some exercise. But there are other things that you need to look at, which none of us really do because we are focused on the business. But if you don't, then the consequences are another reason for your business to fail will be that you don't devote enough productive time to it. So set some real hours for your business, not 11 a.m. till 11 p.m., and stick to those hours as best you can. Create some dedicated workspace. Don't spread like me. Don't spread yourself throughout the whole house. Have an area that my poor wife can say, well, I've just pushed that to one side. Prioritize your tasks. There's so much we have to do each day, but look for the important ones. And again, this comes back to taking some time off. Take a few days off, take an hour off, take whatever you need off to get your brain thinking clearly. If you can delegate, if you've got staff, if you've got people that you can trust, delegate it. Delegate your activities to them. Learn that you can't be everywhere and do everything. Because what happens is you end up trying to do too much. You end up not doing anything properly. So it all comes back to a balance of life. Work is important, very important. Family's more important. Your mental and physical health are substantially more important. And I remember some quotes from people like Kerry Packer, Steve Jobs, when Jobs said, there's no difference between a $30 watch and a $3,000 watch. They both tell the time. And here he was at the pinnacle of success, and he died at 56. Kerry Packer had $5 or $6 billion in the bank. He was at the top of the game, Australia's richest man, and his attitude to life when he couldn't have any more kidney transplants was, I can't eat, I can't drink, and I can't think of what to do. Why am I here? I don't want any of us to think like that. And so what I propose to Cav is we are all in this BizBackBone. And I think that part of the network should be, we should all be looking out for each other. Find who you can talk to. Who do you talk to when you've got a problem? Who do you reach out to when when you've said you've had enough? I think this network is a brilliant cross-selection of people that can help us. We can help each other. We can help other people, not necessarily by doing business with each other, but find out who you want to talk to and be there for somebody that might need some help. I think that's enough. Any questions? I think I'm happy to take them now or later.
Now we have a couple of minutes for any questions. Yeah, because Ken talked about this being, a very happy time for a lot of people, but also not a very happy time. So it was all about us being a supportive infrastructure for each other. But Ken also is, he's underplaying what he's doing. He's just developed a health prediction app that is pretty cool. So Ken, do you want to say a few words about that?
Sure. We developed software to predict future health events, and it's 27. It's an online 27 questions, takes 90 seconds. It's not designed to replace any services offered by any other professionals. It's designed to start the conversation when somebody needs to start. It's proactive. It's the catalyst. It makes people look at their life. A report's generated. I should say that the data that you enter is all anonymized. The system looks at it and compares what you've put in the answers to a database of some 70,000 medical records and makes a prediction. We don't predict well-being. We predict the likelihood of you developing a chronic illness, such as a stroke, diabetes, or a heart attack. And plays on your family history. It looks at you, as I said, your personal health history, lifestyle choices, mental health. One of our practitioners looks at the report and makes some comments. For corporates, the corporate never sees the individual's answers. They only get sent to the employee. What we can do is we can aggregate the data, the anonymized data, and provide a snapshot to the companies to how they're traveling or how their staff are traveling in terms of physical and mental health. We did a study at one of the universities, a couple of universities, over 300 students, found that 92% of them have got some depression. Now, you expect at this time of the year they'd have some anxiety and because of exams, but not depression, not feeling hopeless. And so that got us into the university market and they say, we've got every service you could possibly see or ask for a student. And my response was, yeah, but the student's got to ask you for help. This is you going out to the student and asking them if they'd like to do this, and if they've got a problem, come and talk to us. So it really is a proactive approach. And the other initiative that we have is we're going to introduce some scales and a blood pressure machine. So cheap, cheerful, sits in the office, and you can automatically record that data, goes into the system. So because weight, blood pressure, and pulse are pretty keen, accurate, or required for a more accurate prediction. And so we're looking to do that in the early part of next year. So it's always this looking to predict future health events. We are working with Monash University on a brand new platform where we'll take in both invasive and non-invasive information, because what we'd like to be able to get to is the ability to predict health events, but also when. So if you keep your level of lifestyle choices, you may have a heart attack in 3 years' time, 5 years' time, 10 years' time. Now, obviously, we have to be really careful before we start doing that, and that's why we're working with the university on validating all the data that we use. But data is there to be used. There's as much data as you can find. As I said, we would take invasive data, blood samples. So anyway, so that's where we want to take this Future Wellness Group, and I'm very happy to, if anybody would like to reach out, you can do the assessment for free. It's all anonymous. We don't see the results. As soon as you fill out the application, fill out the questionnaire, you do leave an email address, because we've got to have the system's got to have some method of sending it back to you. But all the practitioner sees is your data, and a 6-digit number. They might see it's a 23-year-old Asian female. That's all they know. And all they do is push a button. The system generates the report, goes straight to the person. We do, on the questionnaire, we do have a section if somebody wants us to know them, reach out for more help. And they have to then put their phone number or their email. But we take anonymity, confidentiality, and privacy very, very seriously. Because if you do that, then people, will participate, but they'll also be honest in their answers.
Yeah, really important work that Ken's doing. Sorry to cut you off, Ken, but we're at time. So really important work that Ken's doing. If you want to speak with Ken, reach out to him directly after the call.